Are you still strongly in favor of closing Guantanamo?
Yes, I am, and I'd like to. You know, life is full of anecdotes, and sometimes there are too many anecdotes, and sometimes they're not descriptive of actuality, but I do believe this anecdote is. Lindsey Graham, several months ago, and I were in Iraq on one of our visits. We visited the huge prison there, one of the biggest prisons in the world. There's 20,000 people in that prison. And the commanding general in charge of that prison arranged for Lindsey and I to meet with a former high-ranking member of Al-Qaeda who had come over to our side but was being held as prisoner. And in the course of our conversation, I mean, he's one tough guy. And in the course of our conversation, I said to him, I said, how did you succeed? How did you, Al-Qaeda, succeed and do so well after we Americans and our coalition achieved such a tremendous military success in our initial invasion? He said two things. He said one was the total chaos that existed in our country, total lawlessness. Old scores were settled, murders, kidnapping, rape, destruction, looting. The entire country was looted. That drew people to our side. He said second, our best recruiting tool that allowed us to recruit thousands was Abu Ghraib. He said Abu Ghraib. Now, my friends, what is the moral superiority of the United States of America if we torture prisoners? We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. So I'm for closing Guantanamo Bay because it's become a symbol. It may be one of the nicest places in the world to live in, but it has become a symbol, and we need to close Guantanamo Bay.
Well, then why were you so furious at the Supreme Court decision saying that they had the rights to appeal to courts?
Because I think they have certain rights, and I think we have just seen in this recent trial that the process can move forward, and it's years too late, and the process should have moved forward. And I wasn't happy, frankly, with the decision. I would have, you know, from what the evidence that I had, he probably should have spent more time in prison. But we had a system set up that where the accused was able to see evidence, where they had right to a legal counsel, etc., but didn't have Miranda rights and didn't have all of the rights of American citizens. And there's a tradition for that. The Nuremberg trials and other war crimes trials where they're given a trial in a judicial proceeding, but it is not all of the rights that are guaranteed to American citizens, because under the Geneva Conventions, they are defined as illegal combatants. They're not American citizens.
But wait, the Supreme Court didn't do that, did it?
I think what the Supreme Court said was that they deserve certain rights, and actually also wanted to go back to Congress for more clarification, as you know, in their decision.
But you call that the worst decision in history?
No, I don't think. No, no. Sometimes I'm given to a little hyperbole.
Okay, let you off the hook, man.
As you have already noticed, I thought it was a bad decision, but I also think we can fix it, and I think we may have been able to prove to the courts, if we can move forward with these judicial proceedings, which some in the media described as a, quote, blow to the Bush administration because it was a light sentence. I thought it was justice. And so I hope that we can move forward with more trials, and that way convince the court. We all know that the court sits up there in a cloud and is not in any way, is totally impervious to public opinion or events of the day and all that. But I do believe that the court voiced frustration in their decision that we hadn't moved forward with these cases, that here these people had been sitting in a prison for 5, 6, whatever number of years that it's been. And I hope that we can show the courts that by moving forward with this process that we can, and maybe additional legislation in a bipartisan basis for a change, we can fix this problem. But I do not believe they deserve, under the Geneva Conventions, the same rights as American citizens.
You know, this is the 73rd, today is the 73rd anniversary.